and the Chiefs with a heartbreaker with a horrible offsides after a play of the season potential play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cry baby, man. They're turning into the new Patriots.
I know it, man. I know it. Maybe. Friends, countrymen, fellow degenerates, welcome to week 15 episode of Bets and Buds. I am Jason Smoking Token.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Bobby Light.
Shout out to True on the track for blessing us with this beat to kick this party off. Make sure you like and subscribe and add to the comment section here. If you like what you've seen all season long, we've been doing this damn thing. They say time flies when you're having fun.
Oh, yeah. It has
Goddamn, we must be having too much fucking fun.
It's
too much
fun.
fucking fun.
Week 15,
Week
baby.
15.
Let's go.
Boy, and I think I broke a new record on one of my big parlays
that
now,
was
too.
A nice parlay.
27-65 plus 27-65 on 4 touchdown scores. Jaden Reed, Derrick Henry, Raheem Mostert. And it was
Saquon?
Yeah, Saquon. Yeah, so that was a big hit for me. I needed that one.
Yes, it was.
I need that seed money to build up that playoff time, baby. Seed money to build up that playoff time. But anyway, let's jump into this week. This week, man. It looks like you had a nice week last week. You're still.
I did. I'm edging you out just a little bit.
Yes, you are.
We're within half a percentage point.
Yeah, it's basically half a percentage point. It's real tight. Like you're still at 56. I dropped it down to 55 a little bit, but you know what? I'll keep taking those big pops when I get them on the week.
I went through each individual. My money's hitting so far at 63% on the year on the money. I'm at 54 on the over/under and 50 on the spread. Like the spread's been tough.
Yeah, the spread is tough, but mind you, that's us doing every game. Most shows when they actually are keeping track of gambling ratings, they're picking games. Like 5-6 games max most of the time. We're doing the entire slate. So leaving ourselves vulnerable for games that most gamblers say, oh, I wouldn't touch that game.
I wouldn't touch that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that game. So let's go ahead and dive into this week here because it's going to be an interesting matchup here. This is a matchup of backup quarterbacks here.
I don't know why, but this game intrigues me right here, this Thursday night game, because is Staley fighting for his job right here?
Oh, you know he is. I think he's gone. I think he's gone no matter what.
Regardless?
I don't. No matter what happens here, Justin Herbert is shut down for the season now. He had that season-ending surgery on his fractured finger.
So what if he wins out?
I don't see how they still keep him. Honestly, I mean, he would have to make a run to the AFC Championship game, in my opinion. If I was the owner of the Chargers,
yeah, and that's not even possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not even possible in my opinion. So, yeah, I mean, what do you like on this one then, Bobby?
I actually like the Raiders at home to cover. I have 2.5 points. I like the Raiders to cover that 2.5 points, win at home, and I like the under in this game at 34.5.
Okay. All right, so you know what? The only thing I think we have different here is I like the Raiders to actually cover. I have them at 3 through FanDuel. Okay. I like them to actually obviously hit the money line, and I have them over at 34. Like okay. Yeah, I like the over at 34 just because defensively wise, I can see the kind of things getting a little loose. They don't know who they're going to see. Easton Stick is going to be the starting quarterback for the Chargers. Easton Stick, North Dakota State Bison.
That's another reason why I went with the under because of that, and you've got O'Connell in Las Vegas, and they just haven't really been able to move the ball.
They have not. I mean, they got shut out last week by Minnesota 3-0, a horrible, ugly game.
After, Chargers just played that 6-0 game against New England.
Right.
So this could be an absolute dog.
It could be, but sometimes like that's when you got to look at the swing also, too, like sometimes trend-wise, just like how we thought last week with the Patriots and Steelers.
Oh, yeah, I did not see that.
I mean, that thing was blown in the first half.
It was.
They hit the over in the first half, so who knows on that one. What do you like fantasy, Bobby?
In this one right now, I'd have to go with Jacobs. Take Jacobs. If Las Vegas wants to win this game, run the ball. Yeah. O'Connell can't throw that well.
Got to be a Josh Jacobs time.
It's got to be Josh Jacobs.
Got to. All right, so for me, I actually have a smoking token primetime parlay for this game. I like to throw one out there on Thursdays just to give yourself a little bit of reason to watch that game, even if it's a stinker. I got Austin Eckler as anytime touchdown scorer. Michael Mayer has to get over 2.5 receptions, and then Devontae Adams over 68.5 yards receiving. Okay, that's like going off at plus 804.
Okay.
Plus 804. So that's a 3-leg parlay of Eckler with the anytime touchdown. Michael Mayer's over 2.5 yards receiving. 2.5 receptions. Devontae Adams over 68.5 yards receiving. That's a plus 804. I like that juice to give me something reason to watch that game if it seems to go south.
Yeah, I like that too.
All right.
Mayers is the Raiders tight end, right?
Yes, man. Yeah, the rookie out of Notre Dame. All right, so next up, we've got a Saturday slate now. We've moved into the Saturday slate of games.
We start our Saturdays.
Yes, we've got a trifecta for the Saturdays. That's kind of a preview for a Super Wild Card weekend. We got Saturday and Sunday games. So we got the first one on that game is Vikings and Bengals. Vikings at the Bengals in Cincinnati. So for me, I'm going to jump this one off because I got them at 3-point favorites for the Bengals. Jake Browning, man.
He looks good.
He looks good. I mean, he's been playing solid ball the entire time he's been in. He fucked one of my parlays when he played the Jaguars. But I like the Bengals to cover that at the -3.
Yep.
Obviously hit the money line, and I like the under at 40 points. I like the under at 40.
We're in agreement on this one then.
Okay.
Because I too like the Bengals to cover, win at home, and the under to hit in this one. Minnesota starting Nick Mullins.
Yeah. I mean, he had a stint with the Niners, that type of deal. But I mean,
we know who Nick Mullins is.
Yeah, we know who Nick Mullins is, but you never know. I mean, this has been a year. This has been a year of the backup quarterback. It really
Jefferson's iffy already. Like,
Yeah.
Hobbs hung him out to dry and got him killed practically. So
Pretty much got his ass back to the bench. That's the pasture not no more.
I definitely like the Bengals to cover on this one.
So we're not going to spend much more time on that one then. So who do you like fantasy-wise in this game?
In this one, I gotta have to go with Boyd in this one. He's got to step up. Higgins and Chase right now. I don't know if
Higgins
it's because Browning is the quarterback and they're just not on the same page. Maybe Boyd steps in as a slot receiver.
Well, and this is about that third game or so. Every third to fourth game with Tyler Boyd. So he's pretty much due. All right, so then to wrap up.
What do you do with Browning after this year?
Oh, I mean, he's your backup.
I mean, yeah, he's
your backup. You just gave Burrow more money than any other quarterback there, man. Like,
he's got to be the. But
unless Green Bay, like.
He's your backup. He's your backup because unless he leads them to the playoffs and leads them to a couple of playoff wins,
wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, you have to because you got to think most quarterbacks that were backups that have these type of runs, they don't really have a career that pans out to be this longevity. Because I mean, he was an undrafted free agent all the way around. So I mean, he'd be crazy to leave Cincinnati. He just hand the keys back over to Joe Burrow and say, "Oh, you're welcome, brother. Thank you for the ride. Thanks for the use of the suite for my family. All that other bullshit."
Unless somebody absolutely throws money at him, like they did with what's his name? Wow, who was that? Seattle threw all that money at Green Bay.
Matt Flynn.
Yeah,
Matt Flynn. And what happened with Matt Flynn? He never started a fucking game with the Seahawks. He never started a fucking game. Russell, because that's the thing. This is a quarterback-heavy draft this year. So I don't see a lot of people jumping out on the limb for Jake Browning right now at this point.
No, that is true.
Yeah, I mean, they got him.
Williams coming out.
Yeah, I mean, they've got him under contract control, and they got Joe Burrow signed for the long term. So I think he's going to be back in Cincinnati eating that badass whatever chili they have in their stands.
That stuff is atrocious.
That is terrible. All right, so the next up we got the Steelers at the Colts in Indianapolis. Who do you like in this game, Bobby?
I definitely like the Colts in this one. I don't think has the Steelers. Is it going to fall off the wagon for him?
You know what? As much as I love and respect Mike Tomlin as a coach, I think that locker room somewhere is fractured. I mean, he seems extremely fractured.
Wrong with it.
Well, and last game they got fucked really bad too, right off the get go, because T.J. Watt went out right off the get go with that horrible concussion where he took that knee right to the chin, and that really kind of took. I mean, he's hit between him, Cam Hayward, and Minka Fitzpatrick. That's the heart and soul of that team. Those are the guys that bleed black and gold. They do.
But they're just not showing anything.
They're not. They just there's no cohesiveness that you usually are used to seeing from the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, I mean, on that game, who do you like in this one here?
I like the Colts to cover. I have 1.5 right now. The Colts win at home, and I actually like the over to hit in this one.
Oh, really?
42.5.
Okay.
Because the Colts defense, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
They give up points to just about anyone. Pittsburgh is capable of moving the ball when they get their heads out of their ass.
Yeah.
The Colts can score, so I actually like the over at 42.5.
Okay. You got 42.5? Okay, so for me, I had them at -2.5 for the Colts being favored at home. So I got them obviously hitting the money line and covering at 2.5. I like the under at 42.
Okay.
I just, the Steelers offense with Mitch Trubisky, I don't really see a whole lot. I mean, it's pretty bad, but the defense might step up just enough with T.J. Watt, as long as he clears the concussion protocol, which he came back in that game and played. I would imagine he would. The big person I see that'll be the only big danger in this game for the Colts will be Jaylen Warren. That would be the only one I can see with some big plays there. So outside of that, that's what I'm leaning at is for the Colts to cover money line. I like the under at 42 points.
I like it. I like the over. You like the under. Let's go.
Yep. Who do you like in fantasy here this week?
In fantasy this week, I need Downs to pick it up in this game right here. Like, he's getting the targets.
Yeah.
Like, Minshew's trying to throw him the ball, but for whatever reason, they're just not on the same page. But if they can get whatever's off worked out, like, he could have a monster game.
And Downs has been making plays. He's been making plays all season long. He definitely has. And you know what? Your fantasy picks have been banging. I mean, last week I was looking through down the line. You had Isaiah Likely. You had Joe Flacco. You had like several picks down there that really kind of banged the hit on the
I've done pretty well. I'm hitting about 50% each week on each individual player. So, I mean, that's not terrible.
Hopefully that doesn't happen this first week of the Mad Playoffs against me, motherfucker. How about that? All right. So next up here, we got the Broncos at the Lions. Lions have been wavering here, and what's funny here, as a quick little dip dive into a little analysis here. If you actually look at what's going on with the Broncos and Lions, the Broncos are actually doing exactly what the Lions did last year. Lions started 1-6 and finished strong at like 7-8, somewhere in that range. Like, so the Broncos started at 1-5. Actually, and they're surging right now. They really are surging. I like what the Broncos are doing. I actually am not going to buy into the not Lions being after them fucking me on Thanksgiving for that game. I am off the Lions train.
You're off the Lions train.
And not that I think they're a bad football team. I'm just off their train to like really kind of betting with them alongside and riding and saying, oh, you know what, they turned the corner. I can bank them and win games they're supposed to win. So for me, actually, I'm going to take the Broncos actually to win this game. And actually, and so that's a 4-point dog by the Broncos. And then they actually, in the money line, I actually want to take the under at 47.5.
Okay. I like the Broncos to cover. If Detroit, I want Detroit to win this game. I'm going to pick Detroit to win this game on the money line. But if they do, it's going to be by a field goal. And that gets the Broncos to cover. But I like the under as well in this game.
Okay, I don't get the under do DraftKings.
I've got it 48 right now.
So 47.5, 48, I was half point there. So, all right.
Yeah, definitely give me the under in this one. I know the Broncos defense is really, really good. Like, we'll see what the Lions are going to do this weekend.
Right.
That's an interesting game.
Yeah, it's going to be a tight one. You know what? Actually, this is a game that's probably going to decide our fantasy matchup.
It probably is, because I got St. Brown going in that one, I got the running back.
Yeah, I got the Broncos defense. I mean, there's a lot of indications in this game that this might be decided for
this could be the game right there.
All right. So who do you like fantasy-wise in this matchup?
I'm going with my boy, St. Brown. Let's go, baby. He's had 2 bad games in a row. 2 bad games in a row. It's time to step up and put me on the road to that 3rd championship. Let's go, St. Brown.
Come on, Patty Surtain. Come on, Patty Surtain. I got to root for the lockdown. Sorry about it, brother.
No, it's okay, brother.
All right, so the next up here, we got the Buccaneers at the Packers. In Green Bay, Lambeau. The Packers coming off a tough win. I am no longer going to call him Danny DeVito's long-lost son. This is Tommy DeVito.
Yeah,
this is Tommy DeVito, man. I can't even hate on it anymore.
The bigger question, Producer Dave, is what do you do with Daniel Jones now if DeVito keeps playing like this? Do you cut him? I mean, they paid him a lot of money.
You know what? You got to see what the dead cap money is going to be on that one. I mean,
it's going to be a lot.
It's going to be a lot. So, I mean, honestly, and you can't really, as much as the excitement of everything that's going on right here. I mean, remember Linsanity?
Yep.
And remember how quickly that went away? So it's one thing to get excited and the hype, and especially in that New York media, they love to hype those type of things up like that really quickly.
True.
But Linsanity went away really fucking fast.
He's making passes that Jones just didn't.
Yeah, I mean, he is. He definitely is. I mean, but I still would pause before I go too crazy on getting rid of old Daniel Jones over. If anything else, they want to keep losing. They want to keep losing.
Okay, but getting back to Tampa Bay and Green Bay, who do you actually like in this game? Because I don't like either one of these teams right now.
No, I don't like either one of these teams, honestly. But for me, I would probably say I'm going to still. It's the Packers are at home. Christian Watson's coming back this week. Aaron Jones is coming back this week. So I like them having their full slate of weapons back on board. They're 3.5-point favorites. They're in desperation mode, and they got to make their move right now because that NFC playoff contention is very clustered and very competitive right now. So I like the Packers to cover at 3.5. Obviously, hit the money line, and I like the over at 41.5.
Okay.
Over at 41.5.
We're going to be in a complete disagreement on this one. I think Tampa Bay goes in and covers this game, wins, and I like the under in this game.
Okay. All right. Well, we're in total disagreement. We know what that record is when that happens.
Yeah, that's not good. I got you on one last week.
Yes, you did. Yeah, you did. So we closed that gap a little bit. We definitely close.
It's only 4-2 now.
Right. So who do you like in this for a fantasy matchup here this week, Bobby?
In fantasy this week, I like Dobbs. Dobbs has had 3 really piss-poor games in a row. He's actually getting the targets as well, but he hasn't been able to get in the end zone. I think he gets in the end zone this weekend. Give me Romeo.
The only thing that scares me is Christian Watson being back. That's why I felt so confident in the Jaden Reed touchdown score last week because of that.
When Watson is in there, he is definitely the focal point of that offense.
They like to go with him. It's just as long as those long leg hammies kind of hold up for him. That's the main thing for his ass. All right, so then next up we've got the Giants at the Saints. Giants down there in New Orleans at the Saints.
I really like what the Giants are doing right now. I don't like what the Saints are doing.
This is one of those where we put our gambling record out there just for any fucking game at every game. Because most people, I tell you right now, I wouldn't touch this game with a fucking 20-foot pole. Not even close. I wouldn't touch this game at all. But with that being said, I will tell you that I do like the Giants to cover this.
I like the Giants to cover as well.
Because did you see the fight last week? It's between Derek Carr and Mike McCoy, the center for the Saints.
I did not.
Oh man, yeah. I guess kind of like Derek Carr took Derek Carr took a sack. And he kind of got, kind of showed him up a little bit, slamming the ball. Come on, man, protect me type of thing. And Mike McCoy had to be held off one of his other linemen. And that was a bad look because both of Mike McCoy has to see on his chest as a captain. Right. Derek Carr had to see on his chest as a captain. That's a bad look. So even though New Orleans is usually a great home field advantage, I didn't like the optics of the way that looked during the course of that game and the way the Giants looked and everybody had good vibes with the Tommy.
Yeah, they're getting back into it.
They are. So, I like the Vikings. I like the Giants to cover that at 6 points, obviously hit the money line. And I like the over at 37.5.
We're in total agreement on that one.
All right.
Because that's exactly how I expected to play out as well. Fantastic. The Giants look really 3 games in a row now. I know it's been suspect opponents. They did beat a decent team last week, though.
The Saints are a suspect team. So
Saints are a suspect team. And I don't know. The Saints, they had that whole division is just...
It's a dumpster fire. It really is. It's a dumpster fire. So who do you like fantasy-wise in this one?
Actually, give me DeVito on this one because he's going off really low. I looked it up earlier today. It was like $5,100.
71 rushing yards last week. 71 rushing yards. Yeah, that's a sneaky Daniel Jones type game. Really.
It is.
For way less money.
Yeah, for way less money. That is a very Daniel Jones type game.
Yeah, for way less money. All right, so next up we got the Falcons at the Panthers. Who do you like in this one, Bobby?
I like the Falcons, obviously. The Panthers are just not good. The Falcons aren't good either, but they're still better than the Panthers. I've got 3. Falcons cover that. And I like the under in this one. I got under 34.
Okay, this is a shitty game. We're in total agreement on that one. I'm not going to dive any farther than that one because we're in total agreement. I had the same spread lines as you as far as that. Like, I had 37 and, 34.5. You're at 34?
Yeah, 34.
Okay, it's about the same thing. So we're in total agreement. So I'm not going to spend and dive into that.
Yeah, that's not going to be a good game.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that whatsoever. Who do you like fantasy-wise, Bobby?
Nobody, but... I need Pitts to do it again this week. Have Pitts get in the end zone.
All right. Well, let's see. Somebody's got to.
Somebody's got to. Drake London had a monster game.
Yeah, he did. He didn't get in the end zone, but he had a monster game. He sat on my bench because he hasn't been doing shit.
Can the Falcons replicate that passing attack against the Panthers?
They can, but I wouldn't bank on it.
I wouldn't bank on it either.
Especially with fantasy playoff indications right now.
But with Bijan Robinson maybe being doubtful going into that game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, give me Pitts. He might have clicked. He might feel good now. He scored a touchdown for the first time in about 10 weeks.
Found out how to use a window.
I got one.
All right, so next up here, we got the Texans at the Titans division matchup. The Titans come off a huge victory against those Dolphins. That was a surprise to the NFL. 8 underdogs won last week, man. 8 underdogs.
When I went to bed, it was well in the Dolphins' hands.
And they got handed 14 points. Those were 2 special teams turnovers, and they still lost that fucking game. Right. So is that panic time for the Dolphins? But while we're on this game, who do you like in this one, Bobby?
I still think I don't know about the Texans yet. They really blew one last week.
Well, C.J. Stroud left that game with concussion.
He did. And
is he going to be out of the protocol?
I don't even know. Is he out of protocol?
I haven't heard that yet. Yeah, this is kind of like a little bit too early to kind of figure out if he's out of that protocol yet. But
they're still a young team, so I like Tennessee to take care of business at home.
You think so?
Yeah, I like them to take care of business. They're feeling good coming off that Monday night win. Texans, obviously, they didn't play well last week. If Stroud is out of the game or he goes out early, you're looking at the same thing.
Okay.
Like, who was the backup? Who
Davis
went?
Dougie for Davis Dougie Mills. Davis Mills. Yeah, which I mean, he had a full season of starting under his belt before, so it's not like you got somebody who's totally green out there. So for me, I actually I'm going to go on the flip side of that game.
Okay.
I like the Texans actually to cover the 2.5. Actually hit that money line. I like the over at 37.5.
All right, well, good. We're in disagreement on that one.
All
That's
right,
2 now.
all right. Who you like fantasy wise?
I said Noah Brown last week. Man, was that that was a swing and miss.
Yeah, that was probably one of your only ones that shit the bed last week. Was that one? Yeah.
And this one, actually, give me King Henry. Like, I mean, he 2 touchdowns the other night.
Did.
Like, if the Titans do want to win this game, it'll have to be on Henry's back.
I was almost upset I didn't do my 2-touchdown parlay of Derrick Henry and Raheem Mostert because both of them had 2 touchdowns. Right. Oh man, that was juicy. I want to say that was like plus like 12,000 or like 13,000 a hit or something like that. Oh my gosh, I was tempted, but I didn't want to get greedy because I've been reaching the last few weeks. So
yeah, Henry. Titans, I think Titans take care of business at home on that.
All right. I mean, it should be a good game. Like I said, division game, kind of battling right there. Texas right there on the Jaguars' heels. So, all right, next up we got the Jets at the Dolphins. Jets at the aforementioned Dolphins there. Who do you like in this one, Bobby?
Oh, I don't know. I really don't. Which Jets team's going to show up? Like the one that put 30 up last week and like shut down defensively, or
you know what I like? Zach Wilson said, fuck it. What are they going to do? Bench me again?
Yeah,
so he's just out there playing ball. And you can see him playing loose, fancy free, just playing ball out there. So I have 8.5 points in the Jets there against Miami.
Yep.
And I actually like the Jets to cover that. I still like the Dolphins to win the game, but I like the Jets to cover their 8.5 points. I see Zach Wilson making some plays, and the Dolphins having to actually squeak that one out because they lost Connor Williams. Connor Williams is their center. Right. And when you lose your center, that's like losing your lineman's quarterback. I mean, that's a huge, huge loss for your defense. I mean, for your offense. And they're already down Teron Armstead. I think, and there was another guard they were down too as well. So they're down 3 offensive linemen. Tyreek Hill coming off the ankle sprain. Let's see how healthy he is in that aspect too as well. Jets with a grimy, gritty defense. Zach Wilson with a newfound confidence. Hopefully, we'll see. I like the Jets to cover that one. Dolphins still pull out a sneaky win there. I like the over at 39 to still hit.
Okay, yeah, I like that. We're in agreement on that one.
Okay.
Because the Jets, I mean, their defense is really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
And like you just said, the Dolphins definitely have injury issues going on right now. They can still run that ball, though.
Yes, they can. 6.1 a yard carry.
They show they can run that ball.
6.1 a carry. They definitely can.
Tua, I don't know. Is he banged up right now? He didn't look that good.
Not really banged up. That's that offensive line. And with their type of offense, Tua is not an improvising quarterback.
No, he's pocket guy.
Yeah, he's a pocket guy.
Runner.
It's timing, it's rhythm, and when that rhythm is thrown off, he's going to have a little bit of issue when it comes to the offense.
Not look very well.
Yeah, so I mean, I think, but he's healthy as far as I know in the Dolphins lineup. So. All right, who did you like? Did you pick your fantasy guy?
I did not pick a fantasy in that one. I gotta have Mostert in this one again.
Yeah.
Shane's not doing anything right now. I don't know if is that hamstring still?
No, he played ball. They were just on him. They were just on him.
Mostert's dominating the carries out of the backfield right now.
He's a lot better in the red zone. That's the thing, because if Achan's going to really do some damage, he's like a 20 to 20 back.
Okay.
And then once you get in the red zone, that kind of seems to be Mostert time.
Give it to Mostert.
Yeah, that seems to be Mostert time. All right, so next up we got the Bears at the Browns. The surging Bears not looking too bad actually lately.
Yeah, they do. And this one bodes into our fantasy matchup as well.
Yes, it does. This is another one that's going to kind of really have some implications.
Because I've got Fields going for me this week.
Oh, yes, you do. Against that Browns defense.
I think the Browns get this done at home, though. With Flacco, they found something with Flacco.
Yes, they did.
I mean, they seem to really have found something with Joe Flacco with that play action.
Yes, they did.
So,
and he's a savvy
veteran presence. I mean,
with a great defense behind him.
For as physically gifted as Deshaun Watson is, like he's not the veteran.
He doesn't have that mental, cerebral side of the game because he has that athleticism he can fall back on.
And this is a Super Bowl winner, so he's been there and done it. He can say, hey, guys, I've led the team to the championship.
Absolutely.
So. But I like the Browns to get this one done at home. 3 points. They beat the Bears, cover that spread, and I like the over in this one. Actually.
You like the over?
Yep.
It's the only difference we have in this game, brother. I like the Browns to win, cover, and obviously, but I like the under at 37.5.
I know the Bears defense has been really, really good since they got Montez Sweat.
They're stingy against the run too. They're stingy against the run, even before Sweat. So I like the under on this one. So that's our only difference in this game. Who do you like fantasy wise?
Give me Justin Fields, baby. I'm going all fantasy team today. No, actually, if you're gonna do another daily fantasy on this one, I think you got to go back to the well with Flacco.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna let him fling that ball around until he proves that hey, I shouldn't be doing this.
And he can make all the throws. That's the thing. I mean, he can make all the throws, and he's seen every defense you could possibly see. So
yeah, if you're talking about a daily fantasy, pair him up with Elijah Moore or Garrett Wilson.
Or fucking Njoku went last week.
Yeah, Njoku would have been
nuts last week, man. Two touchdowns.
Catches.
Thank God I still pulled out my fantasy victory because I was playing against that motherfucker. Like that. Now you get 2 touchdowns.
Because Njoku's not going to be expensive either, regardless of his production last week. That would actually be a really good stack, right?
He was on my fantasy team twice, and I don't know if he had 2 touchdowns on either one of the seasons that he was on my team, let alone 1 week against my ass. So shit. All right, so then we got the Chiefs at the Patriots. Chiefs at the Patriots, who pulled out a surprising victory against the Steelers last week. And the Chiefs with a heartbreaker with a horrible offsides after a play of the season potential play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, cry baby, man. They're turning into the new Patriots.
I know it, man. I know it. Maybe it's all that, Taylor Swift, Britney up there, and there's too much girl power in their suite, I guess.
Wow, you talk about crying, and then, that's just bad.
I know he was offsides, but that shouldn't have been called. Like, what the fuck?
What's this? This is football, right?
I know, what are we doing? What are we doing? All right, so I'll tell you right off.
Okay, what do you got? I can't even find it on the thing.
All right, so I got them at 9.5. I got the Chiefs about so it's in New England. I got the Chiefs favorite about 9.5. So I actually like the Chiefs to cover that one, just because I think their defense they're
going to be pissed off.
They're going to be pissed off. They're going to play nasty, and the Patriots are a bad football team. I don't care what's going on. They got rid of Malik Turner, so we don't got to worry about him getting thrown in the game and them seeing something they've never seen before. So it's either Bailey Zappi or Mac Jones. Okay. I'm not scared of either one of them for covering anything in that action right there. So 9.5 points that I like.
No, I've got it at 8 right now.
You got it at 8? Yeah. I had it at 9.5. So FanDuel, they said even drop it at 8.5, even more.
I like that better because I do believe the Chiefs cover that.
Yes, I think they're going to win by like 17 points. Either way it goes in this game. So I like the Chiefs to actually like to cover 8.5, 9.5, whatever you want to call it. Give me the money line. I like the over at 37, more because of the Chiefs, not because of the Patriots.
Right. Yep, I can agree with that. Yep. I can agree with that all the way across the board. I like that.
All right. Who do you like fantasy in this one?
In this one, you've got to go with Carlos Edwards-Helaire with Pacheco potentially being out again. He actually had a really good game last week, even though the Chiefs lost. Yeah. But it wasn't his fault. So give me
CEH.
Yeah, CEH. I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, let's go CEH. All right. So, that's probably not a bad pick there. So, we're getting close to the end of the slate here. Close to the end of the slate. So, let's go.
Gotcha.
All right. So, next up, we got the Commanders at the Rams. Commanders at the Rams, who played the Ravens very tough last week. Actually lost to the punt return in overtime.
I know, that's crazy. I didn't even realize that until I woke up the next morning and driving into work listening to the ESPN feed, and they're like, he steps back and he takes the punt. He's going to take it. I was like, holy crap, that's how they won? How often has that happened?
Not often, but it happened actually early in the season, to be first game of the season, because that's how the Jets actually beat the Bills.
Oh, okay.
That's a walk-off punt return in that game, too.
In this one, I actually like the Commanders to cover this, but I like the Rams to win.
Okay.
I think it'll be a tight one, and give me the over, because this game, I think, is going to be a shootout.
What do you have the line at in that one?
50.5.
50.5. Well, what about the line?
6.5.
6.5. That's what I have it as well, too. So I actually have the Rams actually to cover this one.
Okay.
And the reason why is I really like the way their offenses look with Kyron Williams being back. The Baltimore Ravens have a really tough defense, and they were moving the ball really well against them.
They
did.
The
Commanders' defense is nowhere near the Ravens' defense whatsoever. So I actually like the Rams to cover this, win the game. And I actually like the under at 49.5. only because I feel like Washington might kind of shortchange us on the point side of things. Because 49.5, you're talking about a 50-burger combined. So I can see that's kind of a hard point total to get to. So that's the only reason why I like the under on that aspect.
Okay, I like the over and Washington to cover. So we're opposite there, but we both like the Rams to win.
Okay, all right. And who you like fantasy-wise?
In this one, I've got to go with, I don't know, I'm blanking off the top of my head. I've got, who would you take in? Who would you take in this game?
Yeah, honestly, for me, I'd look at it like Kyron Williams. Honestly, because Puka is I think Puka left the game with concussion protocol last week, so I wouldn't feel confident in that from that
Right.
they're in there. The other one we talked about a couple weeks ago was how that the Rams aren't great at covering their tight end. So Logan Thomas,
Logan
Thomas would be a good sneaky pick in that one for this game, because the Rams aren't that great at covering their tight end this season. So that between either Logan Thomas or I'm going to go, Logan Thomas or I'm going to go with Kyron Williams for the Rams.
I can agree with either one of those.
Well,
right. Thank you for helping me on that one.
Oh,
Jason,
yeah.
Because I was like, oh, God.
That's one of those kind of tough hit or miss
Who
games.
would you
there.
take in that one?
All right.
Say Curtis Samuel again?
Yeah, no, yeah. That's kind of like going to the well.
Dotson.
That's like a throwaway. Just like, fuck it, I'm just making it.
Yeah.
All right, so the next up, we got the Niners at the Cardinals. Niners in Arizona against the Cardinals. This is a big spread here. This is our biggest
spread here.
Biggest spread of the week here on this one. 13.5 points.
I've got it at 12.5.
You got it at 12.5. FanDuel had 13.5.
I still think the Niners cover this one.
You think the Niners cover? You know what? I kind of was leaning that way, but I felt like the book wants you to go that way.
I mean, I could agree with that.
So for me, with this being the biggest spread of this week, I actually, especially you never know what you might get with Kyler Murray making some sneaky plays, because with the type of defense the Niners has, that's a quarterback that's going to give them problems, and one that can run around, make plays, do some damage there. Get outside the block and outside the box, and you kind of do some damage there. So I actually like them to cover 13.5, 12.5, whatever it may be. Niners still to win, and I like the over at 47.5.
Okay, I like that. But I like the 49ers to cover in this one. I think they curb stomp Arizona on this one. Yeah, I think they curb stomp.
They're at minus 1,000 to hit the money line, so Vegas feels pretty good about that too.
Yeah, I think they curb. I will minus 1,000. No kidding.
Yeah, minus 1,000 on the money line.
I've got 850 right here. Minus 850. That is deep minus.
Yeah, they're expecting a stomping right there. So.
And you would not want to put that in a parlay.
No, not at all. Not at all. Because you'd have to add like 5 other things to make it worth a fuck. So, all right, who do you liking the over-under on that one?
As far as the over-under goes, I like the over in that one.
Okay, so we're in agreement there.
Yep.
What do you have the over at?
47.5.
Okay, so we're exact same.
47.5.
Who do you like fantasy-wise?
In fantasy-wise, I would actually take Kyler Murray for all the reasons you said in this one. Yeah, he can get outside the box. He can run. He's probably going to run for a touchdown.
And not going to be highly expensive either going against that Niners defense.
No, he's not going to be very expensive.
Yeah, that's a good fantasy pick there. All right, so next up, we got to take off my fandom here. I got to take out my fandom here. How about them rings? Yes, I saw 3 of those in my lifetime.
Big win, baby.
Yes, Cowboys at the Bills. Cowboys at the Bills. The Cowboys looked great against the Eagles last week.
They did.
The Bills were lucky to walk out of Kansas City with a victory.
They were.
But they're still surging. They're still surging.
They are. They're not dead yet.
Yeah, so I have them at 1.5 is what I got the spread at.
I've got it at 2 right
now. You had it at 2? I actually had it at 2.5 as of yesterday, but it dropped down to 1.5. But so this is in Buffalo. The Cowboys have been on a roll at home, but it's in Buffalo here. Buffalo is really desperate to get in and win here. So we're taking my fan hat off. I actually like the Bills to cover this 1.5 and win the game up here in Buffalo, just because they're in desperation mode. And I like the over at 50.5. I don't want to see that happen, but for my gambling record and actually like not being biased and actually looking at this from an actual analyst aspect, that's where I look at this going.
Okay. I actually like the Cowboys to go up to Buffalo in Buffalo's season pretty much right here.
Oh yeah.
The Cowboys are good. This is going to be a tighter game than I would like. Probably hope being a Cowboys fan, but the Cowboys pull this one off. They cover that 2 points. They win, and I like the over as well.
Okay. All right. And then, so who do you like in the fantasy?
Give me Gabe Davis or, I'm blanking on it. Khalif. It's their third slot guy.
Like Khalif Tafour or something like that. I think it's his name, Khalif Tafour.
Give me one of the Bills slot guys in this game. Diggs, he's going to be locked down. They'll have Diggs locked down. So, God damn it.
Yeah, I think it's like
I'm
Khalif
sorry.
Tafour or
Yeah,
something like that. TAFIR, I think
He's
it's something
played
like that,
really well the last 3 games.
Yeah, he's kind of snuck in there and made some big plays.
Scored a
especially on some
touchdown
third
2
downs.
weeks ago.
Yeah,
So.
couple big third down catches. Yes, absolutely. All right, so next up we're moving up to the Sunday night slate. The Sunday night slate, Ravens at the Jaguars. The Jaguars who don't play very good at home.
No,
Don't play very good at home. Who do you like in this game, buddy?
I actually like the Ravens to go into Jacksonville, cover that 3, win, and give me the over 42.5.
We're in total agreement on that one. We're in total agreement. Jacksonville has to show me a little bit more consistency than playing at home, and they got to sure up something in their defense. That zone, they're playing this soft zone coverage thing that's just leaving. There's so many holes, and with them not getting home on a pass rush, I just don't see how they can beat Baltimore with the scheme that they've been running the last few weeks. So we're in total agreement on that game. Who do you like fantasy-wise?
Well, I hate to say this, but I got to go with Likely again this week. I mean, until he shows us something different, I mean, he has taken the Mark Andrews slot.
Yes, he has. He's looked very effective. He's more athletic than Mark Andrews, too, as well. So
I think Likely probably is likely to score a touchdown this week.
For our fantasy matchup, come on, baby.
I hate it. I hate it.
Fantasy matchup, come on, baby.
But Isaiah Likely, I mean, you're going to get him cheaper for a tight end for a daily fantasy for sure.
All right, last game, Monday night. We got the Eagles at the Seahawks in Seattle. The struggling Eagles here.
Yeah, the struggling Seahawks. I mean, is Geno coming off? Is he going to be back this week?
It was a groin injury, so you'd think 2 weeks rest as a quarterback.
Drew Lock out there, Drew Luck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I mean, they already saw what he is. I mean, that's and he didn't actually play horrible.
No, he didn't, but he just throws bad interceptions.
Yeah, he throws bad interceptions at a bad time. I mean, like most Mizzou quarterbacks, for whatever reason, we're like our hometown state here. They just don't seem to make great pros as starting quarterbacks for the most part. So. Who do you like in this one?
Actually, with the Eagles losing the last 2 games in a row, no, they didn't lose 2, but
no, they did.
Yeah, they lost 2. Yeah, they lost two in a row. I don't think they go into Seattle and lose again, but I could be wrong. That's why I'm going with Seattle to win. Seattle covered; they're getting 4, so I think they win at home. Seattle's got to win to stay in it this week. And give me the under 47.5 points.
All right. We're in total agreement, actually, but outside of the fact that I like the over at 47.5.
Okay.
So we're in total agreement because I actually kind of feel like, you know what, it's in Seattle. It's going to be loud. One of the biggest things that actually the Eagles have been struggling with on defense is their secondary is horrible in tackling.
Oh, yeah. They're
once you get past that second level and you're catching slants and in routes and all that stuff, they're not tackling.
The Eagles give up the most fantasy points to wide receivers on the season. That's why I got DK Metcalf and Njigba in my lineup this week.
That's not a bad call. So, man, we'll see. This might come down to Monday night action between you and I. But yeah, so I'm in total agreement with this, except for I take the over on this one.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
I
like the under in this one.
Yeah, the Seahawks was my upset special of the week for this week.
All right. I like it. Not really, but I like it. And Njigba, he's going to go off this week.
All right. Well,
just because Philadelphia's pass defense is so terrible.
Yeah, it's rough. And when their pass rush isn't getting home, which they went from being number 1 in the league to where I think they're like 17 or 18 right now.
It's really falling off.
Yeah, it's really falling off big time. Big time. Well, that wraps up this week 15.
Yes, it does. It does.
This shit's been flying by.
It was a little different. I forgot my stuff at home this week, so if I sounded like a clown, it was trials going off my head.
Oh, you were good, brother. We bounce that shit like pros. We're all good, baby. Well, we enjoyed this ride we've had this season, baby. Make sure you tune in next week. Like and subscribe. Add some comments in the comment section. We'll make sure we answer anything we see up there for you guys. Shout out to True and the Track for blessing with those beats. Director Dave on the 1s and 2s out there navigating this ship for us. Bobby Light, been a blast, brother.
Good luck in fantasy, everybody, this week.
Good luck in your playoffs.
Yes, sir.
Peace.